All right, Shalom.
Salam.
All right, first and
First and
foremost, we
foremost.
like to give all the praises, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh,
Yahawah,
Baha
Baha
Shem,
Shem,
Yahawashi,
Yahawashi,
Baha
Baha
Shem,
Shem,
Rukah
Rakadash.
Kadash. All right, double honors and respect to our apostles and elders, a great millstone, who rule well and taught us this truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, the hopeful elect in the one third. This is Brother Salah.
Brother
Brother,
Brock.
what's up? Shalom.
Shalom. All right, in today's video lesson, you see right here from Dabu 7, it's called Sonic Weapon, right? A head exploding from inside, vomiting blood, claims of U.S. sonic weapon on Venezuelan troops, man. So Esau, Edom, man. The Lord YAHAWASHI, man, I say, bless this man with with the sword, man. And during these times, we gonna need some. We gonna need some protection in the time of Jacob's trouble, which we are in right now, man. This is the year of Jacob's trouble, 2026, along with the year of apostates, sellouts, bug outs, man. Pray that the Lord YAHAWASHI, protects us and casts us not away, man. Because we definitely need it during these times, man. All right, so I'm gonna open up with the book of Revelation, right? This is the book of Revelation, chapter 6, starting at verse 3. And when he
Okay.
had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, that they should kill one another, and there was given to him a great sword, and that red horse, man, was speaking of Esau, Edom, right? Because you gotta remember, man, Isaac blessed Esau with that sword, and the Lord Yahweh, man, I tasked Esau, man, to take peace from the earth, man. You're seeing what happens right now when the wicked are in rulership, man. So before I play this video, we're gonna get the copyright disclaimer right here. Disclaimer, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All right, so without any further ado, we're gonna play Dabu Seven's video. Here it is.
It looks like the U.S. military has rolled out a secret sonic type of a weapon that was used in Venezuela. As we're getting word from soldiers that were on the ground that they had witnessed people around them and even themselves experiencing bleeding of the nose, vomiting blood, and it was as if some of the individuals were exploding on the inside of their head, inside of their bodies, and it's some kind of unknown sonic type of weapon that they believe has been used here. And this has them scared big time because they say there's weaponry and there's moves, there's tactics that was used by the American soldiers that they've never seen before. And that this is why they were able to come in with a small unit of like 20 guys initially. They came in, they had a lot of support on the outside, but 20 guys came in tactically, guns ablazing, after they shut the lights out on them and they hit them with this sonic type of weapon, this mystery weapon. Again, it dropped everybody to their knees. Anybody that did not drop got smoked, got hit by bullets, and taken out rather quickly. Soon after, they say dozens of drones and a small number of helicopters appeared. So, whatever they released in the atmosphere, it came either from a weapon that exploded in the sky or a ship or something they had on the ground pointed in that area, potentially even off of a drone. At this point, we did see a stealth drone in action. It was caught on the horizon, had no lights, but you could see it was U.S. military stealth drone assets in the area. Those things can be equipped with all kinds of weaponry. So, where it came from exactly, we don't know. We'll probably never know for sure. But they've got the weapon, this mystery weapon that can leave these guys incapacitated and bleeding from every orifice in their body, it seems like. And they can't explain what it is besides saying it's some type of mystery sonic weapon. So if they deploy this elsewhere, it'd be interesting to see what goes down and if we can get a bead on how they're deploying the thing. But Iran, Cuba, Mexico, all these places catching threats from Trump. Who's going to get it next? Only time will tell. I'll leave a link. Join me for the live streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern.
All right, and uh, all right. So I'm just gonna stop the video there. But but this weapon that Esau has, man, like it does seem pretty deadly. But this idea of using like sonar weaponry or sound weaponry, like it's nothing new, man. Like because even shit like that, this man, it occurs in nature, man. Like if you Google the sperm whale, man, the sperm whale produces loud clicks, right? Excuse me, the loudest clicks of any animal, reaching up to 230 to 236 decibels, right? Are used for deep sea echolocation to find prey like squid. These powerful clicks generated by the unique nasal structures can travel vast distances underwater, making them the loudest living creatures, exceeding the sound of a jet engine, which is around 150 decibels by a huge margin, though through underground sound behaviors in the air, right? So a sperm whale, man, it can produce loud clicks, right? Decibels up to 230 to 236, right? The average human, right? Right, let's see how much I googled how much decibels can kill you, right? A human being. Extremely loud sounds, generally above 185 to 200 decibels, can be lethal by causing lung rupture, air embolism, and internal organ damage. Though some sources suggest sounds as high as 240 decibels might be needed for an instant death, right? But the sperm whale, okay, can produce decibels, around that range, man. So the fact that Esau, so the fact that Esau figured out how to use this weaponry on land, man, goes to show you, man, that that this devil, man, that this devil indeed has the blessing of the sword, man. So we're gonna jump to Genesis chapter 27, verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, "Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword thou shalt live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing word. His father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. And that's the shit that you're seeing right now, man. You seeing the hatred of this damn devil Esau Edom, the ass of Jake, man. And Venezuelans is, if I'm not mistaken, is from the tribe of Asher. They're using this hypersonic weapon, to cause terror on Jake, man. And this is something that you can't physically see, man. Esau, man, he has studied nature, right, and figured out how to incorporate sounds like these into a fucking weapon, man. It goes to show you, man. This devil has indeed done his diligent search, right, which I'm gonna get next, but I'm gonna read but the brother YAHAWASHI posted 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11. It says here, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices," right. Right, and devices like these, man, which is why we need to pray to YAHAWASHI from protection, man, especially in these times now, because we are in the times of Jacob's trouble, and it's only beginning to increase even more, man. Like, I don't know what this on, man. We don't make it past 2020, between 2026 and 2027, man. Lord willing, this is gonna be the year of our, the year of our deliverance, and the year that the MOTV is gonna get rolled out, right? Or if not next year. All right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 6, right? And it says here, "They search out iniquities and accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep," right? So these Edomites, right? They study everything, right? That's why you have these biologists, these archaeologists, all these fucking scientists, man. Esau wants to know, well, how fast can the human arm, swing at its max, right? Right, they'll use knowledge like this, right, and then figure out how to weaponize it, right. So it's just my theory, me speaking as a man, right? But but I believe, man, Esau probably studied the sperm whales, right? And it was like, damn, this damn thing is able to kill a human being with just sound. Like this thing doesn't even need to touch it, even though it's so damn big. right?
I actually got it's like a bro. Keep going.
Yeah. Oh no, you good, dog. But yeah, but yeah, man. But yeah, man. Basically, right. This this devil, right? Since the Lord gave him the blessing of the sword, this devil can basically look at anything, break something down, and rebuild it back up, and weaponize everything, man. That's why we need. That's why we need the Lord to protect us during these times, right? This is the book of Psalms, chapter 17, starting at verse 13. Arise, O Lord, YAHAWASHI, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, man. And you seeing Esau Edom use weaponry like this, man, proves to you that that the blessing was that that the sword is his blessing, man. And he's also the left hand sword that the Most High uses to to punish Jake. But now we're at the end of our punishment, right? So Salaki Ak, go ahead if you want to bring out a precept.
Yeah, I got this is the book of Hebrews 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person, as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Right, and so you got this guy. He's vain. He's profane. Right. And speaking of what you were talking about, right? He always desires to create some new, weapon. Right now he's coming out with that 6G. That he wants to chip everybody, right? He wants to control everybody, right? He has all these different weapons, which was his blessing. He has these different weapons like supersonic weapons, right? Radio frequency weapons, lasers, right? And this is why we need Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man, because we can't survive these things, man, without the Lord.
And I also had something I wanted to bring out as well. This is the book of John 8 and 44. Year of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. So this man is the father of all lies, man. He's been a liar from the very beginning. He's a murderer. Okay, and this devil needs to get absolutely destroyed, man. And we can't succumb to the manipulation tactic that he has, because we can't be ignorant of his devices. This is the book of Second Corinthians 11 and 14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So this devil is going to try to appear all righteous and holy, but we know, man, that he's nothing but a fucking liar. And he's going to get destroyed real soon.
That's right off, man. You see this devil appear on the media, right? After bombing, Venezuela, or attacking Venezuela, taking their president Maduro, which we all know is theater at the end of the day, but the consequences are real, right? Because people are still dying, right? These motherfuckers have the audacity to to appear on TV, to appear on the podium and say like, what we're doing, man, what the U.S. doing is we are destabilizing Venezuela, and we're gonna open up, and we're gonna have control over their oil to open up to the free market, man. And it shows you how fucking proud and how bold these devils are, man. But Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man, he's getting ready to knock down their damn pride, right? Right. So that takes me to the book of Obadiah, right? Obadiah chapter 1 verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground, right? It's like, oh, we have control of the oil, we have the most powerful military in the world, nothing can stop us. But here's what verse 4 says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and thou dwellest in thy nest amongst thy nest among the stars. Thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And that's what the Lord's getting ready to do, man. As soon as this devil implements his MOTV, man, that's what that's when the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, he's gonna put the spirit on these other nations, to send all their nukes and fire at America, right? And one thing, we said this in the previous video, but we're gonna keep bringing this out again, man, because not a lot of people know about this. The reason why they didn't continue further on with their assault in Venezuela is because China, man, they're basically fucking with China's resources and economy, right? China basically gave them a 72-hour ultimatum warning, say, hey, if you don't get the fuck out of here, man, we're gonna do something, right? And instead of the U.S. bucking up or bitching up, what they do, what do they cowered out, they bitched out, man. And because the Babylon the Great, America, they know damn well they can't take on China head on, man. They
Um, it's lucky.
yeah, they don't have the manpower or resources, man, and that's YAHAWASHI, Miyashai, but bringing Esau's kingdom to an end, right? And on top of that, they divide against each other, man. You see the beast hating the whore, NATO, the EU against America, all over, things like Greenland, as well as other things like the bombing of the Nord Stream pipeline, which happened last year, and as well as as America, basically destabilizing Europe's economy. It's not looking too good for Babylon the Great, man. These devils at each other's throats. Yeah.
I got a scripture to back you up.
Go ahead, Doc.
This is the book of Proverbs 21:1. It says, "The king's heart is in the hands of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth whithersoever he will." Right. So ultimately, these leaders of other nation presidents, right? They're actually Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is in control of the decisions they make. You know, so if he's at the end of the day he's controlling whether a nuke's gonna get sent, right? When they push out the MOTB, right? When they start making that mandatory, when they start starting war, sending military troops, all that is in the hands of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai.
And that's right, Doc, and that's to fulfill His purpose, right? To bring forth prophecy, right? The Lord could send Yahweh Shai, to end everything right here, but no. The Lord wants things to play out a certain way, right? Right? It's to one, show and prove who the wicked really are, man. He's gonna let the wickedness peak, right? Before the Lord ultimately takes it down. And the second thing, it also shows, the elect, man. Who the elect are. The ones that show faith, man. The ones that say steadfast. Stand firm for Yahweh Shem Shai. Believe in this gospel and truth. Despite all the bad things that happen, man. Those are the ones who the Lord is gonna save. I don't want to say, that be us, right? The ones out there, preaching and prophesying the downfall of this man's kingdom. Starting with our apostles and elders on down, right? Right. Yeah, and then and then after the men of the Lord prophesy against this devil, then that's when prophecy is going to play out, and then they're gonna physically get destroyed, man. Right. So if I jump all the way back to Psalm chapter 64, we're gonna pick up at verse 7. But Yahweh shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly they shall be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Right. So the Lord Yahweh he's gonna get ready to shoot that ICBM thermonuclear missile, right? That arrow, right? And what's happening right now, man? With dudes like Double Seven. I don't know if he's a Jake or Israelite, but regardless, man, a so-called white man, is telling on themselves, right? Telling about all the atrocities and all the types of weaponry they have, man. You're seeing the downfall of Esau Edom's kingdom, man. It's a beautiful thing to see.
It's and you see how it says their own tongue shall fall upon themselves. Their own weapon's going to be used against them because they're out here developing nukes, right? And then remember what you said, like one of these countries they actually got a prototype of the nuke, right? A faulty bomb, and then reverse engineered it. So that their own weapons are going to be used against them.
Yeah, that's right. That was the dud that got shot at Iran, man. And
Yeah.
the U.S. I don't know if it was the U.S. or Israel, but either way, man, same people. Esau shot shot one of their missiles at Iran, but it didn't explode. It was a dud. So what Iran did, they brought it back to their laboratories, reverse engineered it, and then build ones themselves, right? So now Iran's armed with their own missiles, man. So you're getting ready to see the fall of Esau Edom's kingdom, man. And and so the next video I'm gonna play, right, we played this before, but this is basically, Moab, or China's response to Caesar Nero or DJT's violations of international law, man. So check this out. It's on Instagram. I'm gonna play it right now. Again, I've already showed the copyright disclaimer. You see it right here. We've already said in the beginning of the video. I just want to get that out of the way. So here it is. This is Dr. Victor Gao.
Will get war. If you want to destroy China, you will be destroyed. If you want to impose nuclear war on China, you will be wiped out by nuclear war. This is very serious. China's policy is very clear. China will not fire the first shot, but China will not allow you to fire the second shot. If you have not watched the Victory Day parade in Beijing on September the 3rd, one of the weapons China demonstrated is a missile with all the warheads. We call it 61 because it can contain 60 nuclear warheads plus one hydrogen bomb. Now, in the world of today, let me tell you, which country has hydrogen bomb? China is the only country with hydrogen bomb. And that ICBM can cover every corner of the world in less than 20 minutes and destroy any target in any corner of the world without any possibility of being intercepted. I hope Washington has learned the lesson.
Yeah, and yeah, and that's and it says that in the scriptures, man. What where it talks about, they won't break rank, right, these missiles, speaking about them not missing their mark. Let's see if I can get that. Yeah, it's in the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 7, right? They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks, right? And these aren't talking about horses, man. These are talking about the ICBM and thermonuclear missiles. That they saw in the vision, but they didn't have the vocabulary or the wordage at the time, right? So they just called them mighty men of war. Instead of ICBM thermonuclear missiles, right? And the Lord YAHAWASHI, man, and Yahweh's anger, His wrath is going to be within those thermonuclear missiles once they hit Babylon the Great America, man. So America's time's up, man. We almost the fuck out of here. You see chaos. And on the streets from ICE, man, and if I'm not mistaken, Trump, Caesar Nero, right, or Caesar Nero 47 DJT, right, basically gave impunitive immunity to ICE, so they could just basically go out and attack and kill anyone they want, right? We are basically in martial law, man, without them saying we're in martial law. Right, right. All right, and that takes me to the next precept, right? Because they're talking about Babylon becoming a third world country. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, and it says here. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, in the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. The merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive none of her plagues." And that's going to be the the elect, man, on the road to Zah, man. Lord's will. The men that are sincerely preaching and prophesying the downfall of this place, man. May they be part of the hopeful elect, right? For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities, man. So, as the Lord YAHAWASHI, man, you see right there, man. He's getting ready to destroy Babylon the Great. For reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled to her double, man. So so America, Babylon the Great, is gonna receive it worse out of every other nations, man. When them ICBM nuclear missiles hit, man, this place ain't never gonna get rebuilt again. It shall be a monument to show you what not to do. If you rule in wickedness, what happens when you don't follow the ways of YAHWASHI and Yahushai, man. It'll lead you to ruin and desolation, man. And that's what America's about to become. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and I shall see no sorrow, man. America thinks like, oh, God bless America. America's gonna prosper forever and ever, man. And no, man. YAHWASHI Shai, curses America, man. Fuck this place, man. This place is gonna get destroyed with the nukes, man. Once the MOTB gets rolled out, man. Then the micro C hips. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord YAHWASHI who judge her, and that's basically it right there, man. And the Lord YAHWASHI, he's getting ready to destroy Babylon the Great, man, for all the sins and iniquities they have done and what they're about to do. So brothers, do you have any more precepts you want to add on to this?
That's all I got.
Brother Yalsop?
That's all I.
All right, so with that, we're gonna end off the lesson right there. I hope this lesson's been uplifting and edifying to you, sincere Akim and Akwath. And with that, we like to say, Call Halayim La, Abanawa, Yahweh,
Yahawah,
Yahweh
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh
Yahweh
Shai,
Shai,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem
Rakakadash.
Rakakadash.
Double honors and respect to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, the hopeful elect in the 1/3, and you Israelite foreigners, you speckled birds, scattered amongst the heathen that may look like the heathen, but your seed line / sperm line goes back under Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who the covenant's blessings and salvation is only meant for. Only the elect of you are going to be able to understand this. All right, these brothers Salah.
Brother Brock.
And with that, we'll just say shalom until next time.